Alright, Schlockmeister fans, finishing off the Vampire Triple Feature box set with 2 Orphan Vampires. Let's watch. Here we are at an orphanage.
I don't think so. They say as little girls they could see.
Something happened that we know nothing about. They say that one day the colors just disappeared.
Colors?
He's talking about 2 girls that have been in the orphanage for a long time. And here they are.
Help cure them.
A cure? It would be marvelous. We would be so happy. Ah, but that's impossible. It's God's will that we see nothing at all.
Anyway, at night, the girls like to sneak out. Apparently, at night, they can see. They like to spend time in the cemetery.
We came from under there. Do you think we're dead or alive? We're both. And the memories? Do you remember? I mean before.
And then we get a flashback. I think this is what you call a day for night shot. But they're clearly vampires, as you saw the fangs, and this was one of their victims. They meet this girl in a train yard.
You don't speak. Are you hiding too?
I'm from nowhere and everywhere. If I haunt this train station, it's because it's silent and solitary. It's with them.
She's apparently a she-wolf.
They say I'm crazy because I'm a she-wolf.
Do you bite too? Do you transform into a werewolf?
An ordinary she-wolf. Alone.
In the morning, I'll have an opportunity to show you where everything is.
This is a new doctor who's going to take care of them for a while, and they're staying with him.
Good night, my children.
Good night, Doctor.
You'll have to get used to calling me father.
Anyway, the girls wander off there, too. Now, I believe this is Brigitte Lahaye. And they've wandered off into like a circus tent or something, and for the life of me, I don't know what the hell's going on here. But they attack and kill her.
You ate some? A big bite, yeah. You're beautiful with her wet blood. Please, just wait. A game. Is it dangerous? You dare me to go in front of the window naked without him seeing me?
I do.
Dear.
She does too. I can't show you, unfortunately.
We'll stay in the house.
Anyway, the doctor's leaving for a few days or something.
Well then, I can leave reassured.
Free for the whole night. This time, we're going on a big adventure. That's it for that little cemetery. We'll go to the biggest one. And even take the subway.
They encounter a chick in a cemetery. Her boyfriend was with her, but they found a way to divert him away. And then they feed on her. And then they meet this Batwoman.
Come with me, you'll have security.
She's going to protect them for the night.
Her destiny is to pass over cemeteries in her own company, alone.
Well, we're the vampire orphans. We can't fly in the sky, but we see in the night. In blue. And we bite like bats. Think we could drink each other? Yes, Louise. Yes. Quick. It's daylight. We have to get home.
Apparently one of them's dying, and I don't know why.
Please. I beg you, please. Don't die on me. Not now.
Try to remember.
So she cuts herself and tries to feed her.
Drink of life, little bat girl.
stories of my memories of the past times when you and I had our magnificence.
They decided to kill the doctor.
We could slice him with the saber in the living room.
He's big, you know. It'd be better to smother him with a pillow while he's sleeping.
They come up with a different way.
Go on. The knife stuck.
They run upstairs, climb to the roof.
He hasn't got much longer.
Do you think our room's still empty?
Sure. Oh dear, Mother Superior wouldn't give it to anyone.
In any case, Sister Martha wouldn't let her do it.
Back to the orphanage.
Someone's coming.
Someone's throat we can slit?
Or drink.
You drink the blood of humans. But I, the beast, the vulture, the hyena that I am, I feed on cadavers of dead flesh.
A ghoul.
We live off the living.
Back to the orphanage. They find somebody to feed on.
We don't drink water.
You'll understand.
Well, that can't be. You just can't be.
They're not done feeding on the orphan girls. Anyway, they meet up with this other girl and show her a magazine.
Diving with him in a tank full of water.
They decide they like her and don't want to eat her.
Pearls and dances in the flames. The girl in the costume sawed in half.
So they strike up a friendship with this girl and then they go frolicking in the woods together. But there's some hunters out there. I'm not sure if they were hunting vampires or what, but they may have been. Anyway, the one vampire girl helps her and ends up walking into a swamp or something. And she's about to sink into the water and die from her wounds.
I'm dying. No.
After her friend sinks and dies, she decides to follow suit. And that's our movie. Alright, let's talk about Two Orphan Vampires, another from French director Jean Rollin. Jean, I think that's how you pronounce his name anyway. This one comes from 1997. He made a lot of exploitation movies in the 70s and such, and this was some of his later work. I actually watched the other movie that he did later in 2002. Actually, yesterday I reviewed that one, Fiancé of Dracula, or Dracula's Fiancé. This one I found much more coherent and easier to follow. It's a little long. It's an hour and 47 minutes, but I could at least follow along with this one and know what was going on. Although there wasn't a whole lot going on, to be honest with you, there was these two like orphan girls that were left in this orphanage, and they're like, well, they're supposed to be teenagers, I guess, but I'm sure the actresses were like in their early 20s. But anyway, they're not twins or anything, but they're blind, and nobody can figure out what's going on with them, why they're blind, I guess, but they're only blind during the daytime. Nobody else knows this, but it's the truth. At nighttime, they can see. And they see blue is what they say, and they're vampires, and nobody knows that either, obviously. So, I don't know, the doctor is brought in to check up on them. The girls sneak out at one point. They like to sneak out at night, and then they go feeding a little bit here and there. It's not overly violent, but they do feed on some people. There's a lot of like day for night shots, I guess you could say, in this movie, because sometimes it looks like it's very bright outside, but it's allegedly night and they can still see. They walk around with canes during the daytime. I don't really know what the girls were planning to do in this movie. At one point they do leave and they wander around and they feed, and then eventually they end up coming back and they meet people along the way. There's a lot of scenes that are prolonged where nothing really happens. It's not boring at all, but I don't know, they just keep meeting weird people. They meet this one girl like in a I don't want to say it's a train station, but it's a place where trains park, I guess. There's some train tracks. She's hanging out in there, and she says she's a ghoul. Then they meet Brigitte Lahaye, and she's like in the circus tent or something. They attack and kill her. And then ultimately, they meet this other girl after eventually they go back to the orphanage, and they feed on some people there too. And they meet this other girl later on, and they decide not to kill her. She like joins up with them. They show her a book, and they say, you know, it's like a book featuring like art and stuff. And they say, oh, that's us. This picture, that's us. They'd always talk about this. They pretend they're ancient Aztecs or something. This movie's all over the place. I know this doesn't make any sense, but that's what's happening here. And the three of them go running through the woods, and then it's all of a sudden like this hunter shoots one of them. I don't really know why. But anyway, she doesn't die, the vampire girl. The other vampire girl helps her for a while, but then they end up in the swamp somewhere, and then the one girl ends up dying, and she kind of sinks down. And then the other girl, who's still alive, decides, I guess she's going to commit suicide. She sinks down too, and that's the end of our movie. Again, I don't know what the hell was going on in this movie. They really, I don't know what the plot was. It was just two vampire girls, blind in the day, sight, they can see at night, and they feed occasionally. That's it. At one point, they decide to feed on each other, too. That's it. Not a ton of nudity in this movie, although both lead actresses do get naked. There definitely is some nudity. Not nearly as much as that Fiancé of Dracula movie. And the actresses are nice looking. Just a strange film. I don't know what else to say about it. It was a little long, like I said, but at least it wasn't boring. It kept my interest throughout, so at least it had that going for it. But strange film. Anyway, it's called Two Orphan Vampires. Now, I have this movie on this Vampire Trilogy box set here, featuring Central Park Drifter and Fiancé of Dracula, which I've already reviewed. And you can get this, I want to say it's about $20-25 or so. It ain't bad for 3 movies. They're all vampire movies. They all have nudity. And that's it. So anyway, check it out. Curious if anybody else has seen Two Orphan Vampires. I'm guessing not a lot of people have, but if you have, let me know. If you haven't, let me know. And leave some comments. Watch it. Bye.